London is one of the great cities of the world, a metropolis of around 8 million people. It combines the historic and the modern, the traditional and the innovative to create a city of great cultural diversity. With its world-renowned museums, its West End theatres and contemporary art scene, its celebrated parks and monuments and its buzzy nightlife, it's a city that offers something for everyone. From its establishment in Roman times, London has survived wars, great fires and plagues. It's been the headquarters to an empire ruling over a quarter of the world's population and home to a great line of quarrelsome kings and queens. It's a city with a great story to tell and endless sights to visit. London has no obvious centre, but Trafalgar Square has for many years been the focus point for protest as well as celebration within the city. Here, the magnificent Nelson's Column and the neoclassical National Gallery evoke memories of the Empire. From here, Whitehall leads down to the Palace of Westminster and the Clock Tower with its famous bell, Big Ben. This Gothic revival edifice was built in Victorian times and now homes both the House of Commons and the House of Lords that make up the world's first parliament. Across Parliament Square lies Westminster Abbey. Built in the 11th century by William the Conqueror, it has since that time been the site of every king and queen's coronation and often their burial. Home to the present monarch is of course Buckingham Palace, or as it's popularly known by the locals, Buck House. Built in 1702 on the site of an infamous brothel, its visitors now mostly come to catch a glimpse of the colourful changing of the guard. Heading east, we find the Square Mile, also known as the City. This is where London's origins began. Although most of the old city was destroyed by the Great Fire of 1666. Now home to the financial district, it boasts an array of modern architecture with groundbreaking designs by the likes of Norman Foster and Richard Rogers. Of an older design is St Paul's Cathedral, whose massive dome is second in size only to St Peter's in Rome. Built by Sir Christopher Wren after the Great Fire, this masterpiece was completed in 1710. It survived the Blitz of the Second World War, when all around lay in ruins, and was the venue of the spectacular wedding of Prince Charles and Lady Diana. One of the city's oldest landmarks is of course the Tower of London. Begun by William the Conqueror in the 11th century, it developed into a fortress palace, and with its bloody tower and Traitor's Gate, it has been used as a place of execution, a prison, and home to the crown jewels. All are watched over by the famous Beefeaters, established by Henry VIII as his personal bodyguard, and by the tower's ravens that are protected by royal decree. Legend has it that should they leave the tower, the kingdom will fall. The River Thames has always been central to the city and is always worth a visit by boat. Heading down the river we find Greenwich, a base to many Tudor monarchs. It's now famous for its historic Naval College, Queen's House, Royal Observatory and the Cutty Sark. It boasts the National Maritime Museum, the prime meridian from where all the world's time zones are measured, and a splendid park with spectacular views across London. A little further downriver lies the Millennium Dome, now renamed the O2 Centre, and a world-famous concert venue with fantastic facilities. Back towards the centre of London, you can take a walk along the leisurely south bank of the river, soaking in the views across the Thames and enjoying the buzz of its cultural venues that include the Royal Festival Hall, National Theatre and British Film Institute, as well as the London Eye, which is Europe's biggest Ferris wheel. If it's culture you're looking for, London is full of celebrated museums and galleries, many of which offer free entry. The British Museum is possibly the world's oldest and greatest public museum. It houses more than 13 million artefacts collected from all over the world. Norman Foster's recent development of the Great Court has made it more accessible than ever. The National Gallery is home to an historic collection of art, ranging from the early Renaissance to French Impressionism. The Tate Modern, crafted out of a disused power station at Bankside, is now the world's largest modern art gallery. The area of South Kensington is home to 3 splendid museums. The Natural History Museum, where you can view the remains of almost every creature to walk this earth. The Science Museum, which is full of interactive exhibits. And the Victoria and Albert Museum, which is a showcase of the applied arts. To recover from all the sightseeing, you can head to one of London's famous parks. Scattered across one of the greenest capital cities in the world, they offer a respite from the hustle and bustle of the metropolis. London is of course famous for its shopping, as well as the bustling Oxford Street and Old Bond Street and the world-famous Harrods in Knightsbridge. You might want to visit one of London's many flea markets. For antiques and vintage clothing, check out Portobello Market in Notting Hill Gate. It's full of curiosities, antiques, clothes and great food. In North London, you'll find Camden Market, that sells more contemporary clothes as well as retro furniture. For good food, Borough Market, south of London Bridge, is a winner, selling everything from pie and mash to lobster thermidor. You'll be spoilt for choice. Another lively area is Covent Garden, as well as having its own market and numerous designer shops. It's renowned for its lively street entertainers and buskers.
Where are you guys from?
Nebraska.
Nebraska, America.
Oh, he knows.
After a day's sightseeing, some evening entertainment is a must. In the glittering West End, you can catch a world-famous play or musical starring some of Britain's and Hollywood's finest. The nearby Leicester Square boasts over 10 cinemas, many a movie premiere, and is always a hive of activity. For drinking, eating, or just plain fun, each area of London is different in character. Just north of Leicester Square, you can take a wander round Chinatown. Its plethora of bright neon lights and bustling streets are a great visual spectacle, and the choice of restaurants can be overwhelming. Soho, recently London's red light area. It is now more famous for its great selection of bars, restaurants and drinking halls. In short, you'll never run out of things to do in London. It's a city that's constantly reinventing itself with the new and the innovative, while still retaining a strong link with its history and tradition. It's a city to be explored and enjoyed, and to be returned to again and again.